So one day there's this fox just minding his own business walking down the road, and he starts to feel really thirsty. He looks up, sees some grapes on a vine, and of course tries to get them. But of course the grapes are up so high that he can't get them, so he just tells himself, oh, the grapes are probably sour, I wouldn't want them anyway. Good morning everyone, today is Friday, October 15th, and maybe you recognize that story as one of Aesop's fables. This story illustrates a very interesting concept. It's called cognitive dissonance. We're really rushing in chem because we have to leave for the field trip, which I don't really want to go to anymore. Cognitive dissonance is the idea that when there's a struggle between a person's attitude and behavior, there's a tendency for the person to change his attitude rather than his behavior. In this example from Aesop's fables, we see that the fox's original attitude is that he wants the grapes, but his behavior is that he can't get the grapes. So his new attitude, his second attitude, is to tell himself that he doesn't actually want the grapes at all. Wing, do you think I like school?
Yeah.
Kevin, do you think I like school?
Yes, of course, you get straight A's.
You know, this is only the second time I've ever been in a school bus. It's actually sunny out here in downtown. Who would have thought? Well, if nothing else out of this trip, at least we're getting a free lunch. Apparently from some food carts. Looks like there aren't very many colleges here at all. We've only been here 10-15 minutes. We already finished the whole thing. Alvin, do you think I like school?
Definitely.
Ashton, do you think I like school?
Of course, you had birthday.
So, it seems that a lot of people think I like school. Maybe that's true, but I think that I've been a victim of cognitive dissonance. You see, we students don't really have a choice of whether we can go to school or not. We kind of have to. That becomes our new behavior, and even if our original attitude is that we don't, like school, sometimes that actually changes. I'm kind of starting to question the wisdom of making this field trip mandatory for seniors. Well, mandatory optional, whatever. It seems like we could actually use our time better in class, the 3 classes that we miss. Trees, trees, trees everywhere. And stump. Yeah, this is definitely turning into a big social event. Well, this is interesting. We're leaving already. It's only been 30 or 40 minutes. Audrey, do you think that trip was worth it?
Yes, it was, because I got chairman bow.
12:50 back at Lowell, and it is cloudy, foggy, really dull weather. Greg's here! Okay, anyway, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go out for lunch. I don't have a 14:15. Well, until it just ended. This field trip was kind of a waste of time, but then again, we got to get out of school and also got a little social interaction in there. You know, I don't think that college tour is really for us Lowell students. I don't think any of us actually found it, really helpful. So let me get back to the topic. Cognitive dissonance, even though a lot of us don't really expect it, well, we've seen that it happens. So a more interesting question to explore now is why it happens. Now, for those of you who've watched my psychology vlogs, I think I mentioned this first in Rosie Retrospection and then probably again in Dreams. You'll remember this, but I sort of mentioned this idea of a conscious form of repression. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Freud, you'll know that Freud said that sometimes we banish all these unwanted thoughts or feelings from our consciousness into our unconscious self. And sometimes that these feelings can be revealed through dreams, which are the royal road to the unconscious, or psychotherapy, things like that. Now, I really don't know to what degree Freud's ideas are true, but I am willing to make the argument that there is some mechanism in our cognitive self that helps us block out all the things that we don't want and just accept our lives as they are. So now I want to pose to you a question that I struggle with a lot, and this question kind of arises from this discussion of cognitive dissonance. If so much about us, our behavior, attitudes, even our personality, are so heavily influenced by nature and our environment and the things around us, then what is free will? What is free thought? And do we even have these things? So much of who I am, most critically the things that I value, have all been shaped somehow by my experiences and by my environment. How then can we discover our true identities? How can we find our true selves when there are so many outside forces trying to change who we are? Yes, it's true that the fox's new attitude about the grapes probably didn't change him very much as a person, or as an animal very much at all. But don't forget, an accumulation of all these small changes can work together to alter everything about who we are. And for the first time since I've started vlogging, I don't have a conclusion for you viewers, because these series of questions remain unanswered even for me. Wow, so many pumpkins already. So now I'm back at West Portal because today is a community service project day. Of course with Faith in Action, the group that we started when I was back in 8th grade. We have a lot more volunteers now than we did just a couple years ago. So today we're cleaning the church and also starting to make some posters for our Thanksgiving clothing drive. That was a tiring day of work, but I got to meet a bunch of our new members, so that's good. Relaxing Friday evenings, just sitting with my computer and watching the evening news.